I currently do technical writing. I write on data related products and tools, various companies on them. Okay, and I also do ML focused research and development in data optics. Okay, so this is the overview. First we'll go through the introduction and then I'll walk us through how ML works in the music development process. Following that, we'll answer two questions: how exactly ML applies in the music industry, and what are the challenges faced when applying ML in this industry. Next slide. So first, before we move on, I want us to. I know most of us, most of us use music sharing platforms, and I've gotten our name review or whatever they call it. So rap, Spotify rap, Deezer rap, all of that. So what artists did you listen to the most? Just like three people. Fine. You can also reply online in the chat. So anyone, what artist did you listen to the most in 2022? Anyway. Okay. Any other person? Okay. All right. Any just one more person? I'm interested. Okay. For me, it was Eminem. I enjoy rap. Okay, so thank you for that. So the question is, since I'm the first speaker, I will briefly talk about machine learning. Machine learning essentially is using data to solve or to automate tasks that human beings want to do in life, right? So automation is the backbone behind machine learning. That's why we do machine learning. So to make tasks that human beings do. Because that is why we do programming in general, to make life easier for us. And music, you can see this short form composed by ChatGPT, a large language model by OpenAI. But music is a very interesting form of entertainment. When I was in my younger days, I read a lot of books, so I like reading books, right? So when I started with music, I was more drawn to music that was narrative, yeah, so music that had like maybe a story in the background and the general context like that. But I also, grew older and listened more. I realized that music is more than just lyrics, right? It is the melody, the harmony, how everything comes together to form that thing you enjoy. Yeah, you realize that if you strip out some elements from the music or the track, you probably not enjoy it as much as you do. So yeah, some of the tracks that I listen to are Eminem Stan. Stan is a story about an obsessive fan. Then NF the story about story is just a story about a cohabitation when inside is essentially the boyfriend of a roommate was a robber and and let's the story about a wrong relationship, an abusive relationship, and it's quite interesting again. And the very last one here is carried with kind of and the story about it was especially someone throwing out their feelings about you know cars and how music helps them within that section. So these are all narrative pieces, but music is more than this. And as you can see, ChatGPT says music is escape a symphony of sound and melody that shifts our soul around. Okay. So then the next question is why or where does music come into the or where does machine learning come into the music development process, right? And I will just walk us through some of the different So one is in songwriting and composition. Given all the existing body of work in the music space, right? Uh, Machine learning can be used um, to analyze all the existing music data that we have currently, and then generate potential lyrics, generate or compose songs essentially from scratch, either through generative modeling or just you know text-based generating lyrics. So you can either generate lyrics or generate the audio in the background, or do both simultaneously. Yeah, machine learning helps in that regard. That point is a little bit it's contested because people feel like if you bring machine learning into that, you are like reducing human creativity. So um, that's also interesting. Then you also come into play when you are recording and mixing. So most of the modern devices that is used in this in the music space have machine learning integrated into them. So analyzing the tempo, beat, and stabilizing everything as they're developing and recording the music. Yeah. And then it also comes into play in arrangement. So I mean, um, when music is being composed, things are changed and rearranged together until they get like the perfect arrangement, right? And machine learning can come into play to analyze, okay, what are the components of this music, how are the verses arranged, when the chorus come in, right? And then suggest to whoever you're working against what the better arrangement should be. Also in promotion and distribution, machine learning comes into play here, essentially in helping these artists share the content to the right audience. Because for instance, most of the artists that we mentioned here, I do not know them, right? But they are artists that I know, and the ones that I mentioned earlier, and with machine learning, given to my existing listening history or whatever framework, yeah, the application can suggest to me music that I will actually want to listen to, new music that will most likely like get. So that's how learning goes in that regard. And then the corporate section, I know TikTok is a big thing now. I think it's the current wave, and you realize that they modify songs, maybe skip it off or add some elements to it, and then everybody likes it and they all share and share and share, right? But if someone wants to do that in a more nefarious way, where the person is trying to essentially modify someone's work and then replace it with their own music, right? Machine learning comes into play here to analyze the new track. So we are doing a new track here, we analyze the new track and then compare it to the song in the database to know whether the artist actually duplicates or whether someone is trying to. So that's how machine learning helps in music. Um, yes. So before I move on, I want us to quickly scan this topic. Um, it provides us some concept as to how machine learning can help in generative AI space. So just it takes you to a Google experiment called the plot of graph. Essentially, what is happening here is um, there are these blob-like structures, basically, and they each of them play a different part in the choir, right? So you see one playing part of the bass, then you see tenor and soprano, and you can quite literally modify, and then you can by just moving the different blocks, you can generate sound, right? And of course, if you can move them in an ordered form, in a form that is you know in a form that generates actual good audio, and even record it before that session and export it, right? Things like that. This is an experiment. That's why it's not that part of the website, but it is like a peek into the future of how generative AI can come into the music industry and help generate audio and generate sound. So you can go to the website, maybe play around with it. It's possible for us to do it. Just do that. Well, are we already, are we on websites? Let me see. Okay. There might be some audio interference, so if you have like an earpiece with you, you can just launch the experiment and try, just try moving it, if it sounds good. It's quite interesting. I think they're thinking about the maybe I think everyone is looking to maybe you just try it out now and try it out some stuff just to see this in action, to see how you can actually generate sound by just moving these blobs. So I mean, it was created to make it uh, interesting to the users, right? So that's why those things are shaped that way, and then you can just easily move them, you can just screen, just move them with your hand and finger, and then generate sounds. If you get the hang of it, maybe generate something that actually sounds very nice, and things like that. So yeah, let's just do that when we time. I'll I'll skip sharing it from here. Okay. So thanks for participating in that. The very next thing I want to talk about, and I'll share with us, perhaps the core of this session, the application, the actual application of machine learning in the music industry. So, yeah, how exactly is machine learning applied in the music industry? Um, First one is music generation. I feel like this one will understand it better since those who have gone via that lot of stories understand the potential of this. So machines can be able to generate seemingly original pieces from existing body of work, yeah, using something called generative AI. So um, there are a lot of state-of-the-art models that do this already, and it's an active area of research. So if you go to your wherever you get research papers from, Harvard or papers with code, you will see a lot of papers on music generation and trying to build either a text to audio model or even an audio to audio model just to generate original pieces. Also, people debate about how original the pieces are, given that they were trained on existing work. So that's another interesting sort of debate or conversation. Then music analysis. Here, okay, so I'm going to give a context to this one. Most audio in the African music space, particularly the older ones, they don't have enough, or they're not documented well. So most of the time, you see an audio file, it does not have metadata that refers to the genre, the emotion associated with the track. It does not have all those specific information about what the track is. Most of the time, you just see maybe the record label, the artist or artists, and then things like that. But that is not all that there is or all that is there to the music track. So something we do in machine learning is to infer right those information from the audio. Right. So since the producer did not tell us, we will try to find out ourselves. That's the general idea. Right. So for instance, if we take genre, yeah, as an example, um, one interesting one would be Aquala, right? Um, what we do is we get a team of domain experts, people that know how Aquala sounds, right? And then we get them to build tracks. So tell us whether this track is Aquala or not Aquala. And if they're able to do enough of that, give us enough data, we can build what we call a classification system to determine whether track a new track now is Aquala or not Aquala, right? And we can extend that to handling multiple genres at the same time. So you can see you can handle like 22 or multiple genres. In the music space, or in the African music industry, there are about there are over 70 different genres, right? But if you check your streaming platforms, you can see them segmented like that. So for us to actually, if you're going to bring something like the African music into, the limelight, let's just say, they need to be understood better by the streaming platform. Yeah, they need to be able to understand. They need to know exactly what is different genres. They just classify the genre as African music or maybe some generic category. So this helps us get out this, important data. It could also be language in some cases, because the goal is to reduce the human intervention. Of course, if we hire enough people, they can do that. Yeah, but I mean, the goal is to reduce costs using technology, right? So yeah, we simply use sequence-based models, things called recurrent neural networks in this case, and because of the size of audio data, it requires a lot of experimentation to get the right or the model that performs well, and never stops because of you always have to keep improving the system. Next, we do recommendation. I think most people get the idea of recommendation. Giving a listening history and some information about the audio. Yeah, you're trying to determine what other tracks in database or what new tracks a particular user is going to listen to, right? In some cases, you may not have the listening history, you may not have some information about the music, maybe you've not done this analysis. Yeah, but that information is not just there. In that case, we do something called a cold start, where we have to infer the relationship between different music tracks from the audio itself. Now, not just from either your own listening history or metadata as streaming the audio, but now from the actual music, the audio track itself, the waveform, the audio. So yeah, that's something we do on that music recommendation. The goal generally is just to suggest the right music for users so that everybody in that, all the stakeholders in that space get what they want. We get the good music, the app gets it, we make money from it essentially, and then the artists also make their money, and everybody happy. So at the very next thing is search. So search is related to recommendation, yeah, but not exactly. So in the case of search, you're trying to find out something exactly, right? You are not trying to say, okay, what are the things that are like this guy, but you want to know exactly what it is, right? In this case, if you think Shazam, right? That's what it does. It helps you identify the exact trap, giving like a snippet of the. So typically we use similarity detection systems for that. Usually a combination of hashing the audio tracks and then doing some similarity detection using neighbor algorithms. But essentially what we do here is we try to convert the audio into a form that is unique for each audio track. And then when you bring a new audio, you also use the same algorithm on it. And the idea is that whatever you get for the new, maybe even smaller audio should correspond more with the original track, right? So uh, it should be more alike, or it should correspond more with the track that is the source as opposed to other tracks. And there are different ways we go about doing that particular search, and it's a very resource intensive process because of the nature of audio files and the length of the hash. So there are various things to put into consideration when you're trying to create your system. But definitely that's what we do when we're doing search uh, in, um, in music and in music industry. So we have three more. There's transcription. So I mean, this is just the goal of transcription is to convert the music, the audio file, to text, right? So you are trying to get out the words that have been said, the lyrics essentially. Could also be from the perspective of converting the audio to the sheet music. You see what we have up here. So imagine that you wanted to convert audio back to that form. That's like the traditional form of music when you're doing more classical music. So transcription is all about converting that audio um, back to like a lyric or sheet music, and in that process, it has to be customized because music has in the context of lyrics, yeah, the um what do you call it, the instrumental and everything in the background is essentially noise. Because of you want to hear the lyrics, like this the system here will regard the instrumentals as noise. So you need to first build a system to separate instrumentals from the actual vocals, and then you know have the transfer. So it's like a two-step approach. Remove the instrumentals, which is technically noise in this case, and then transcribe the resulting audio. So yeah, and then in copyright, I talk about this also briefly, but we can also build identification systems to determine whether a new track is um, just a derivative of something that's already in our system, something that is not unique and not original. Especially if there's no attribution. You get so in some cases you might say, okay, this is genuinely a remix and all of that. But if you're using it, then you can go through whatever copyright laws apply and then take legal action. Finally, we have quality control. In some cases, or on most platforms, you see some tracks flag that explicit content, or just in general, we want to know how good the audio is, right? Whether there's a lot of noise in the audio or not, right? So these are like different objectives in quality control. So either you want to just know how good the audio is, get whether there's breakage or whether it's like consistent and you know, you know or whether listening to that music will give you a good experience. And the other cases like I mentioned here, we want to know when explicit scripts are mentioned so that you know for the younger folks, maybe you don't want them to hear this kind of things, they can flag out some kind of music and separate them. So yes, these are just like seven of the applications, but they are others. Um, so yeah, if you are interested, you can do some more research and find out. The very last section here would be the challenges faced in the process. The very first one is availability of data. Not just data, but like data that we have, um, data that we have the right to use, right? So, because you can typically find music everywhere, Telegram or normal internet, but do you have the right to use it? So you see, organizations in this space will have to be constant conversations with record labels and all of them to be sure that or to get the right to use data for this work. Again, and of course, we also have to pay permissions back to those people for using the data. So it's typically a big problem, or is a problem in the industry. For someone that is just coming to this space, maybe learning, yeah, you probably face some bit of issues getting data that you have the right to use. Yeah. And then there's the survey of data quality. This one is not necessarily in terms of the audio file itself, but like to build most machine system. Something a popular technique is called supervised learning, and in supervised learning you need to know what the track is, what the track is essentially. So if you are trying to identify emotions, you need to know that okay, this track brings out sadness or okay, and if you want to go, yeah, per track. So if you don't have that kind of data in large quantities, yeah, you cannot do much in this space. So and that is your objective. So giving your objective, the policy of the data, whether the things that are the tag given to the different music, whether it is actually what the music evokes. Yeah, those different things. Is a problem with it because of different people hear audio and experience different emotions. So this is depending on some other environmental factors like weather and all of that. So that's also something that I will face. And then the structure of music generally because of music is complex. You have all you have the audio, you have the vocal, you have the instrumental. So it's a little bit complicated. Building models to handle this, and the models we build they are typically very large in terms of size because there's a lot of information in the audio track. Even a short audio has a lot of information. So handling that is tricky. Copyright, like I mentioned, I'm sure you understand that. And then the diversity, because if you're going into a new sector in the music industry, you probably find out that some of the things you know about a previous sector, yeah, will not apply directly. So you cannot just take a model that identifies some traditional Western genres and bring it to the African landscape. They would not they will know work here. So you now need to solve problems from ground up again, get people that know this new music, this that in a new sector, and then try to solve the same problem over and over again. And that's what the challenges of this in the development process. So I believe that is yeah. So conclusively I was going to say two things. First is that it is important that we use these tools as a complement to the human efforts and not trying to completely remove human beings from the process because I mean we are pivotal to ultimately we are pivotal to the experience we get from music. And also despite the challenges that I mentioned, I think I mentioned about five of them, machine learning is still being used actively in this space. And of course, as research continues, because we're always showing out research papers, so as research continues, these challenges will be solved, and then we can have better experiences. Thank you. I'll be taking questions. So any questions? Any questions on
Yeah, yeah. So you can ask your questions. Hello, Alex. Just two questions today, so that we can move to the next feedback. Anyone else have any?
Any questions?
Yes, I have two questions. And the second one is kind of like it's concerned. So the first is, by enough data, you said we need like enough data set. The question is how much data set is enough for you to use as your test set, right? I'm referring to when you talk about the Apala music. So getting people to discern the particular genre of music is Apala. So what um, volume of data set is enough for you to say this is where you can work with as a test set? I think I just go first, I'll check the second. So the second is like a concern, right? Because you said it's not helpful the music guys, the musicians, when you ask the question.